how in the mornings then, and whenever you would make the Cokes for them, how were you able to get the antifreeze into their Cokes?
Just pour it in.
Meet 51-year-old Diane Staudy, who is about to face the most intense interrogation of her life after methodically poisoning members of her own family, one victim at a time.
Anything else maybe besides pills or that she could do?
Well, if she got into like cleaners and stuff like that, but I know it's Lysol and it's got bleach in it.
But she doesn't know that her carefully spun lies are about to blow up in her face as the officers begin questioning her.
So if his stuff were to come back with anything like that, something similar to maybe what Sarah's might come back with, how would you explain that?
On June 11, 2013, 24-year-old Sarah Staudy was rushed to the ICU at Cox South Hospital in Springfield. Doctors quickly discovered something was terribly wrong. Her kidneys and pancreas were shutting down, and her brain had swelled, causing internal bleeding. But nothing could explain what led to this condition until a man named Pastor Jeff Sippy called 911, and what he suspected would crack open one of the most haunting cases the town had ever seen. He told officers about a disturbing pattern emerging in the family. Just a year before, Sarah's 61-year-old father, Mark Staudy, had mysteriously died under similar circumstances, followed by her 26-year-old elder brother, Sean Staudy, not long after. And the pattern wasn't the only unsettling part. Pastor Sippy believed he knew exactly who might be behind all of it, the one who had held that family together, or so everyone believed. Mark's wife and their mother, Diane Staudy. His suspicion was further strengthened when doctors revealed that Sarah had likely been poisoned, the only plausible explanation, considering all of her prior medical reports had been completely normal. This left officers with no choice but to bring Diane in for questioning. The following footage was provided to us by the Springfield Police Department.
Is it Stout?
Stouty.
Stouty? Okay. Well, again, Miss Stouty, I appreciate you being willing to come down and speak with us. We're very helpful on your part.
I'm trying to be.
All right.
Don't know what I can tell you.
Well, okay. Well, that's what we're going to try and get figured out. Obviously, like I told you at the house, we got the call about Sarah and her condition, but you say she's doing better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did all this come about?
She started feeling sick Saturday, just a mild headache.
Past Saturday?
Well, it's been a whole week.
Oh, so the Saturday that's coming up in 2 days, would that be 2 weeks?
I wish I had a map in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This past Sunday, it was a week ago when we took her into the ER.
Okay, so it's almost 2 weeks.
So it's almost, yeah.
Okay.
Has it been 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How did all that come about?
She started, Saturday, she complained of a little headache, and her stomach was upset, and she threw up a couple of times. And that was it. And then her normal routine is she stays up all night and sleeps during the day. So I didn't think any about it until Sunday afternoon, and then I couldn't get her to wake up. She didn't respond to me, so we took her to the emergency room.
Okay. So on Saturday then, you said she was having some headaches and throwing up.
But it wasn't that bad. I mean, I've seen the flu bug worse.
Okay.
So I didn't think that much about it.
About what time was that on Saturday?
Oh, that was in the afternoon.
Okay. And then you remember about what time it was that she went to bed?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I really don't know, because I go to bed at 10 at night, and she's usually still up.
Okay. And then you woke up Sunday morning.
And she was asleep.
Okay. Then what happened?
Me and the other girls went to church, and we left her sleeping.
Okay.
And then I came home, and she was still sleeping. And then maybe a couple hours later, I went to check on her, and we just couldn't get her to respond or answer or anything.
Okay. So you brought her to the ER?
Yeah.
And that was Sunday?
That was Sunday
night?
I want to say afternoon. It was still daylight.
Okay. So after you get home from church, you go in to check on her. She's still asleep, but she just will not respond. She's completely unresponsive. Okay. And what time about was it that you got home from church?
I want to say around 12:30.
Okay. And then sometime you say in the afternoon, it was still light out. Do you remember about what time it was that you took her to the ER?
Maybe 3-ish.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. Is she still unresponsive at that point?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we literally had to, Rachel and I had to carry her.
Oh,
We
wow.
carried her to the car.
Okay. All right.
And it's like, okay, this is not good. You know, it's like something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what did they say at the hospital?
Basically, she was as sick could get.
But no idea what it was?
We had no clue.
Of course, she had no idea how any of this had happened to Sarah. In fact, she was just a helpless mother herself, trying to make sense of it all. And while all of it made her sound as innocent as possible, officers decided to play along, just to see how far she was willing to go. And they weren't wrong to, because she was about to make it all sound even more convincing.
With her medical background, she's bipolar.
Okay.
My first thing is, did she get into something? You know, did she try to overdose or something? And then when I got home from the ER, I checked her medicine, and she had plenty of pills left. So I don't think she OD'd her medicine, but I have no clue.
Okay.
I really don't.
So it didn't look like to you then that she would have overdosed
No,
on her
and then I, you know, when I'm telling the ER folks, you know, this is her history, and I know they were probably running every test under the sun on her, and they said nothing, they couldn't figure it out either.
Okay. If she wouldn't have, obviously because the pills were there, if she wouldn't have overdosed on pills, you know what else she might have done?
She's talked about in the past about cutting her wrist, but as far as other ways, I have no clue.
Okay,
She's
but obviously
really
she
never
didn't.
said anything.
But obviously she didn't cut her wrist.
No,
Okay.
no,
So you don't know how else she might have done it?
no.
Okay.
I mean, if she did find something to take, I have no clue.
Okay. You have any idea what it would be that she'd find to take?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I don't. As far as pills, I don't have much. Other, you know, Tylenol, Motrin, that type of stuff. But
Anything else maybe besides pills or that she could do?
well, if she got into like cleaners and stuff like that, but I don't know. I can't really picture her doing that.
Okay. So you don't think she's the type of person that would try to harm herself, or?
I really don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Part of me says yeah, part of me says no. I don't know.
Did she mention anything about, wanting to harm herself, or
No.
nothing at all?
No,
Okay.
no. I know she had been not sleeping as good as she's been in the past, but other than that, I hadn't really noticed much change.
Okay.
But then, I don't know. It's so subtle sometimes, you just never know what's going on.
Sure.
And it's tough because I try to give her space, but yet I want to kind of know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. You said you have other daughters.
Mhm.
How many do you have?
I have two others.
How old are they?
22 and 11.
Would they know? Would Sarah have maybe said something to them about wanting to harm herself?
I asked
or-
them and they said they hadn't, nothing.
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 Okay. So you don't think it was pills? You thought maybe she could have gotten into some cleaners or something?
Yeah, because I know I have cleaners and what else is there?
Yeah. What kind of cleaners do you think it could have been that she would have?
Gosh, what do I have? I can't see her taking soap. Yuck. The general, everyday cleaner. I
Well,
have some of that.
What would that be?
What's the name of it? Lysol?
Okay.
I know I have that, but I don't.
Could you even hurt yourself from soap or Lysol? Do you know? I'm not.
I have no clue.
Okay.
I don't even think about.
Right. I've just
Stuff like
never heard
that.
of anything like that, so I
I
don't.
haven't either. It's like, but I guess, I don't know. I guess if you took enough, something would do something,
Mhm.
but I've never, I don't know.
Okay. But she's, as far as you know, she hasn't mentioned anything at all to anybody
No.
about wanting to harm herself, so that would kind of surprise you then.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as you know, they still don't know anything at the hospital?
No.
Gosh.
Other than whatever happened really did a number on her.
What do you think?
I really don't know. I've been trying to rack my brains trying to figure out what happened. So.
And from what I understand, you're in the medical field. Is that?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse. Okay.
But I'm a cardiology nurse. I know hearts, but
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And from what I understand too, I think you're pretty well respected in your profession. Is that correct? And
Yeah.
Is there anything from your knowledge? I know you say you deal with the heart and stuff, but from your knowledge, is there anything that you could think of that it could have been? Because obviously, from what we understand, you're pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is.
I try.
Yeah.
But I really can't think of anything. I mean, I don't know. Psych's not my thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's a whole different realm, and it's
Mhm.
like, just.
Yeah, I understand the sight part, but in terms of like medical condition wise, is there anything medical condition wise
that
that
would
you?
cause all this? The only thing I'm thinking in my mind is, unless it's an autoimmune something or the other, but I've never heard of that causing. Basically she had a total body collapse.
Okay.
I mean, all her organs were trying to fail, and it's like, I don't know of anything that would do all of that.
Yeah.
Maybe one thing, but not all of it.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make sense.
Okay. If she did take some cleaners or something, could that essentially?
Well, I can see that hurting the kidneys, but that wouldn't cause her brain. I mean, she had a brain bleed.
Oh, she had
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't figure that one out. Because I even asked, it's like, you're sure it's a bleed, not a stroke, or a blood clot? Because that runs in my family, so. But they said it was a bleed, and it's like, what would do that?
Strokes or blood clots run in your family?
Uh-huh.
Both, or I'm sorry, strokes.
Well, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
You can throw a blood clot to the brain, and that causes a stroke.
Okay. And that runs in your family?
Uh-huh.
Like how far?
Well, I've had a TIA.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know.
That's like a mini stroke.
Okay.
And then my mom had one, and her mom died of a stroke.
Okay.
But
Would it be common for somebody that her age though, that because from what I understand, Sarah was in really good.
yeah, she was in good. As far as we know, she was in good
great
health.
physical health. Yeah. Okay.
And at her age, the only thing I can see is if she was on birth control pills, but she wasn't. So that throws that one out too.
Okay.
So I'm still racking my brain.
And there's been no doctors or anybody at all that's been able to say they have any kind of a clue
No.
whatsoever. And
No.
I'm assuming they've been running all kinds of tests.
I think they've done every test under the sun.
Wow.
And it's like, and everything, other than the abnormal stuff, it's like we can't figure out. I mean, her tox screen was normal. Nothing. Not even an aspirin. And it's like, okay. I don't get it.
So what do you think? I mean, what do you think could have happened?
I don't know. I really don't. Unless, I can't even think of a combination that would do that.
What do you mean a combination?
Well,
pardon me,
okay.
because I'm not real
I'm
medical.
sorry.
You're above me on that, so.
Like, if you take Tylenol and aspirin and Motrin, they make a reaction,
Mhm.
and sometimes that'll do something, but I've never heard of it. Well, if she got into, like, cleaners and stuff like that, but
How does one die from something like that? Did she mention anything about, wanting to harm herself or
No.
nothing at all?
no. I know it's Lysol, and it's got bleach in it.
Now let's pause here for a second. Just minutes earlier, Diane had clearly mentioned Officer that Sarah was not suicidal, but now she was suggesting that Sarah might have ingested something like Lysol, a contradiction so loud it was deafening. But even if we take her at her word, why would someone, out of everything, choose Lysol to end their life? It was a question that was silently sealing her fate. Another theory suggests that Diane might not just be lying, but she could be very well explaining the methods she used before to systematically get rid of her family. Her explanations quietly revealed the many ways she might have planned the perfect murder.
Are you married?
I'm widowed.
When did your
My husband died last year of a heart attack.
Oh, really? How old was he?
61.
Oh, so he was young. Wow.
He had a lot of medical issues.
Did he?
So, yeah.
What kind of stuff did he have?
Oh, he had liver problems. He was diabetic. He wouldn't quit smoking. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, then that goes into, did Sarah do herself again, because it's been a year.
Since.
Well, he died last April, but,
Okay.
Things just play over and over in your
Yeah.
mind, and I have to wonder.
How did she take his death? Was she pretty upset about that, or?
Actually, she didn't at first, but a couple months later, I think it hit her. And then we had her in psych therapy for a while. She sees the psychiatrist all the time,
Okay.
so. I know they had increased her medication last fall, so.
Do you have any idea what we could look for in terms of, it's just, it sounds like it's just such a, an odd deal. Anything at all that to give us some guidance to figure out, what happened, or any suggestions you could think of?
I really can't think of anything. I really don't know.
Does she work anywhere?
No.
No.
She's been supposedly trying to find a job, but I don't think she's been trying that hard.
Your 22-year-old, what's her name?
Rachel.
Rachel. Does she work anywhere?
Not yet. She's still in school.
Oh, okay. Where does she go?
MSU.
And she's the one that helped you bring Sarah to the hospital? Okay. And you said she was so bad that you guys pretty much had to carry her in.
Yeah.
Is that how it was at the house? How did that come about?
Well, no, she could still bear weight, but she wouldn't answer. But she kind of helped walk to the car.
But by the time you got
By the time we got to the hospital, she was,
Okay.
it was worse.
So when you came in after church and she wasn't responsive, was she still asleep and she just wouldn't respond to anything you were saying? Could she move at that point
She
at
was
all?
still moving.
She was still
yeah.
moving, but no talking and could.
Mm-mm. But
Okay.
then she's a what I call a deep sleeper,
Okay.
so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. And then you said you decided about 3 that this is pretty bad.
Yeah, something's wrong. This is not normal.
Yeah. What church do you go to?
Redeemer Lutheran.
Is that here in town?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What are Sarah's friends like?
She really doesn't go out much.
Doesn't have many friends?
Not really.
No.
No. She keeps to herself.
Does she?
Yeah. I keep trying to encourage her to, go out and do things and
Mm-hmm. Do you have a son as well?
no, not anymore.
No,
He died.
He died.
He had a seizure disorder.
When did he die?
That was last fall.
How old was he?
He was 26.
Okay.
He'd had several strokes.
So was his kind of an unexpected, or?
It wasn't a complete surprise. We knew he'd been sick.
So what was wrong with him?
He was severely autistic, had several strokes starting when he was a baby, and then he had a seizure disorder.
What's the seizure disorder?
He would just have seizures. Like anytime he would get sick, he would have seizures. And then when you didn't even expect it, he would have seizures.
Okay. And he died of the seizure disorder?
Yeah.
How does one die from something like that?
Well, if you're alone, and this is what the his was an autopsy case. They said they found an area in his brain where he had a lot of more brain damage than we thought, and they're saying that's what caused the seizures, and apparently he stopped breathing during one of his seizures.
To the untrained ear, her story sounded plausible, but the medical reality told a very different story. Seizures don't cause someone to gradually die over 48 to 72 hours while vomiting. They are sudden and violent, a detail that slips only when you have spent more time rehearsing a lie than understanding the science behind it.
What did they tell you about Sean's autopsy?
That he had a congenital kidney defect, that they found quite a bit of brain damage. I'd never heard of the word gliosis before. They had found where he'd had his initial stroke, and then there was evidence of seizures.
Okay. Because we've spoken with the medical examiner about that. And I guess when they first did it, they really didn't look too much into if there was any types of chemicals or anything at all in his system or anything else like that. But when we did talk to them, they were able to tell us that they, just like with all autopsies, if you're familiar with those, they take tissue samples and hair samples and all kinds of other samples, and they basically keep them for a while. And fortunately, they still have a bunch of his stuff, and so they're gonna do a bunch of tests on his stuff as well. Okay. So if his stuff were to come back with anything like that, something similar to maybe what Sarah's might come back with, how would you explain that?
I don't know. I really don't know. Again, it depends on what shows up. And
What do you think it might be?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Think there could be anything maybe malicious or suspicious involved with that?
I can't think of that,
Would you be surprised if something like that came back?
Yeah,
Would you?
I think so. I think I would be surprised.
Okay.
I mean,
Why would you
I
be
never,
surprised?
Well, I never anticipated anything showing up,
You never anticipated anything showing up. Why would you not anticipate anything showing up?
Because I really don't know how can I say this to make sense? I really don't know. Like, for instance, Sarah, I don't know what happened.
Right.
And as far as Sean, I'm just taking their word. But
Yeah.
that's what
And
happened.
I understand. I think their initial, because they didn't obviously go into a bunch of stuff, but now after Sarah's condition, and there was no autopsy done on Mark, as we know, but maybe from some samples that were taken initially, not the autopsy, but just because I know Mark had some substance on his face and things like that, and from samples there, is there any reason that from samples taken at the time of these that there may be some kind of correlation or some kind of link, anything that may be similar in those?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
And if there was?
I wouldn't know.
I understand you wouldn't know, but if there was, though, something similar amongst them.
I'd have no, I have no clue.
What would your explanation be, though?
I don't know.
What was Mark's life insurance policy like?
He only had 20,000. That was it.
Okay. How about Sean?
Sean only had 15.
What about Sarah?
Sarah only has 15, I believe.
Rachel?
And Rachel has 15.
And Brianna?
Has 15.
Okay. And you were able to get the money from Mark and Sean's, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
It took a while, but
So yeah, but you
finally.
didn't, right. And what did you do with that money?
With Mark's, we were able to move into a better neighborhood.
Right. How about Sean's?
With Sean's, I haven't even, right now it's still in savings because I haven't quite figured out what to do yet
Okay.
with some of it.
What were your plans?
Some things I'm thinking more of just paying off bills.
Okay. What about Sarah's? If she passed, what was gonna...
I have no clue. How can I say this? We were still married, but it was not what you call a good marriage.
Mm-hmm. Had there been any infidelities on either side?
He had.
He had.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing then, just briefly, that he wasn't the best husband?
Probably not.
Okay.
Not to society, no.
What do you mean by that, not to society?
Well, he was running around and he would drink and smoke pot and
So he wasn't a very good guy, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I know, I've had friends who told me I should kick him out, but I couldn't find myself kicking him out.
Why not?
I was afraid he'd kill himself.
Why is that, though? Why would he kill himself?
Oh, he was bipolar too.
Was there, we talked about some of the financial stuff. You guys had you ever had any financial problems? I know you said you were able to move into a better neighborhood after Mark died and no financial
really.
issues. Did Mark work at all?
No.
No, he didn't work?
No.
So what did he do then?
Played music.
Okay. So you were the breadwinner for the family. He didn't work, didn't bring home any money for you guys, but your job's good enough that you were able to support the family. And then when he died from his insurance money, you were able to upgrade it because you have a nice house out there now. Okay.
It just means I didn't have to borrow from my 401k for once.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay. But never any financial problems, though.
no.
Okay.
No.
All right. And you mentioned, you talked about Mark. It sounds like you're a very godly woman, Christian woman. Mark sounds like he wasn't that way. And
off and on.
off and on, okay. And Sean, you say he wasn't too much into church, and
No.
neither was Sarah.
Not really.
Were they? Would you consider them like the sinner type? Were they sinners or?
I hate to use that term,
Mm.
you know. I mean, they still believed in God. They just didn't like to go to church.
Okay. So they weren't devoted like you.
Right.
Okay.
Not as much.
All right.
I think if we had a smaller church or maybe, you know, not as many people, they might have felt a little more comfortable, but
But Rachel and Brianna, they both attend regular, and then, so they're. I'm guessing then they're probably a lot like you, devoted and believers, and okay. Had you tried to get Mark, Sean, and Sarah to get more into church and be more, with
Yeah.
God? Okay. They just wouldn't quite.
well, Sarah's been trying to go more,
Okay.
so that might change. Can't talk. That might change because she's been enjoying the pastors coming by and visiting her. So
Okay. That kind of gets us back to why somebody may want to harm any of them. And it sounds like you don't want to come out and say it, but it sounds like Mark really did he not treat you that well?
that's hard to say. I mean, I didn't think it was that bad, but my kids would probably say otherwise.
Was there ever any physical abuse towards you?
No.
Nothing like that?
No.
He just had some extramarital affairs, and
Mhm.
you said he did some drugs and smoked and drank a lot.
Yeah.
And okay. Did you do that around the kids? Any? Did they know that he was
Oh, they
involved?
knew.
They knew.
They knew.
So that probably didn't sit very
That-
well with
yeah.
you.
I wasn't happy.
Okay. Was Sean involved in anything like that? Did he drink or use any drugs or?
Not that I know
Not that
of.
you- okay.
Mm-mm.
But you obviously weren't happy then with him doing that and the kids knowing
Yeah.
about it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ms. Stout, there's been some things that have come up. We've been investigating this for a while.
Mhm.
Okay. And there's been some things that have come up during the investigation. Some of it to do with some tests that have been done on Sarah.
Okay.
And then again, some of it from when we've started working with the doctors that had performed the autopsy. So there's some questions that need to be answered about that. And I'm hoping that we can get an explanation, because I know that you, from looking into this stuff and looking into you, I know that you are that you're a God-fearing woman, you're strong in the church, very, very dedicated to the church. You're somebody that knows, about the right thing and about God's way.
Mhm.
I'm a believer myself, so I understand where you're coming from on that. Sometimes in life, there's things that happen or things that go on that may not, good people don't normally always do, but there's reasons for sometimes people to slip up a little bit, make a mistake every now and then. You would agree with that, right?
Mhm.
So here we are with this situation now where some stuff's been brought to our attention. And I think you're a very good lady
Okay.
with the right intentions,
try.
right? Yeah, you try.
I try.
But sometimes everybody kind of reaches a tipping point or a breaking point, and it gets to where again, like I said, that maybe certain decisions are made that normally wouldn't be made for that.
I know, I've had friends who told me I should kick him out, but I couldn't find myself kicking him out.
To Diane, she was a good and hardworking mother, but admitting to killing her husband and children would directly contradict that identity, creating a deep psychological conflict within her mind. To bridge this gap, the officer validates her emotions, knowing that the moment her defenses begin to crack, the truth won't be far behind.
I think you know why we're here talking. And now is your chance to kind of help fill in, because there still are some questions about why things may have happened and that nature. And this is your opportunity, because, people are going to be looking for some answers, and they're going to want to know why, and we're going to want to be able to go back to them and say, this is it, she's a good person, but give them some kind of explanation as to why, because I know that there's a reason, maybe why some of this stuff did happen.
And as far as Sarah, I don't know. Did she get into something? Goodness, my stomach's rumbling.
Let's get past that, Diane. Okay, let's talk about it, because I think you probably want to talk about it. You need to talk about it, because when people do things, it's always good to ask for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. And oftentimes the best way to ask for forgiveness is to talk about it and give an explanation as to why things happen.
As far as Sarah's a difficult child to deal with.
I understand.
And I've been kind of putting pressure on her to, you need to get out and get a job. Your college bills are coming due. I don't want to pay for them. After all, you get tired of doing everything for your kids, and it's like you need to step up and do it. But as far as, I don't know. As far as did I do something to her, I didn't do anything to her. I mean, I guess I could have taken her to the ER sooner, but I didn't know.
How would you explain, if through everything that's been going on, because I've been involved in this investigation for a while now, and I've been working with the hospital, how would you explain, because the hospital has been, like I said, working with me, and you may not be privy to know everything that we've been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
How would you explain if something's been found that may indicate otherwise?
I don't know. All I know is if she, I don't know. I know I didn't do anything.
And if you did?
I'm just telling you, I didn't do anything. I mean, the only thing, maybe I could have taken her in sooner, but I didn't do anything. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. What do you think should happen to the person that harmed them?
The officer asked this question to gauge her reaction, searching for anything that might suggest she wasn't the one responsible for killing her children and husband. But what they found instead was a stone-cold woman, composed and seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation, or is just very good at pretending to be.
I don't know.
Well, what do you think, though? You're a smart lady. What do you think? You think maybe there was a reason that they were harmed?
Maybe, I
Right.
guess. I don't know.
Right. Lots of times, when situations come about like that, there is a reason
Yeah.
for whatever it be, I completely understand what you're saying, Sarah. I feel for you. If she's as old as she is, she's graduated school, she's got all these bills coming up. You're trying to get her to church, you're trying to get her to work, you're trying to get her to do these things, and she's not going along with it, and it's got to be just immensely frustrating for you. I completely understand that. And so I can imagine what you must be going through with all that, knowing the stress of having the school loans coming up, and she's obviously not working, so she's not going to be able to pay for them, so that's just going to be piling on you, and just the stress and pressure from that. So I completely understand, how that had to have affected you. I completely understand that. And most of the time, when people do things like this, there's a reason for it. Some people in this life are just evil people.
Mm-hmm.
They're just bad people. Sometimes, like we discussed earlier, there's very good people that they just get to a point and just can't take things anymore. And I suspect that in these situations that we're talking about, I suspect that's probably more so the case as opposed to just an evil, bad person doing something. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's exactly the case. I think Mark, he's having these infidelities. He's not working. You've got the whole burden of the family. You got to take care of everybody. You have all this stress and pressure on you to raise your kids, to put food on the table. You're the working one. He's out. He's drinking. He's using drugs. He's using drugs in front of your kids, which nobody would appreciate. He's doing things he shouldn't be doing. I think person just gets pushed to where, people just can't take it anymore. I think Sean is obviously burdened. He's not going to church. He's not, probably doing what he should be doing, just like we've talked about. And then the same situation with Sarah. So when I look at this stuff, I think there's a person that just has been pushed, taking all this stuff, and it just keeps building up and building up and building up. And I think it just gets to the point of just can't take, people can only take so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's I don't think it's just pure bad and pure evil and somebody with these intentions to, just want to do harm to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case, is it?
No, not that I know of. I don't think there's that many evil people out.
Right.
And this was where the investigation really got interesting. Suddenly, the officer stopped demanding the truth and began building a narrative, one that pulled Diane into a false sense of security. Hoping she might confess, he framed her as someone who had been victimized by her own circumstances rather than as a criminal. By doing this, the officers set the stage for her to speak in her own version of events, believing she was just explaining her side. But what she doesn't know was that every word she would eventually speak could tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm here to try and get your story, because when this is all done, when everything is said and done here, there's going to be a lot more people besides me that are going to have questions. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you the chance so people can have some answers, because you're a very good person, you're very involved in the church, and I think most people really think you are. But when this is all said and done, people are going to have questions. They're going to deserve some answers. Mm-hmm. And you're going to want them to know and have some kind of story about what it is, because you don't want people thinking that you're just bad. Because when all this stuff comes out, because it will, you don't want people to look at this and go, oh my gosh. You're going to want people to know why. And I think that's what it is I just think there's only so much all of us can take. You got so much stress and pressure on you. There's only so much a person can take. And I think that's what you got to talk about why, so people are going to know and understand and realize, it's not about evil. It's not about just being bad. There's a reason.
Well, is it bad if you argue with your kids and tell them, and I probably shouldn't have, it's like sometimes you'd be better off if you'd kill yourself.
This was the exact moment Diane's carefully constructed facade began to fracture. Yet she made her best efforts to make it all look innocent. But those efforts would pay her nothing when the officer would find the truth, one far darker than anyone could have imagined.
And this is why, you have to think about them, because it sounds like you truly do care for Rachel and Brianna. It really does.
And I care for Sarah, and I care for Sean.
Right. But it just got to the point with some of them that, they, again, just couldn't take anymore. So now you have to do the right thing for Rachel and Brianna. You have to, because you don't want them, going around and, having to hear about this stuff about you being this really bad and evil, awful person. Mm-hmm. Because, people will understand. People truly will understand, when they see, they'll go, gosh, I know, I've been in her shoes before. I know what she must have been going through. I know the stress. I've been at that same point. That's how you want people to see it. And that's what you owe them, is to get your story out here. And so you can just open up and talk about it and say, I had all this stuff going on, just couldn't take it anymore. And that's why it's plain and simple that I'm not bad. I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you are.
I try not to be a bad person, even if you wish things to happen, but sometimes I would just wish my whole life to be different. But who knows? It might be even worse. Just a lot of arguments. Both Sean and Sarah would just basically
don't know, trash the house. They would do whatever they wanted to do and never helped support or even contribute. I should just kill myself.
How long had you been giving them the antifreeze before they finally got, like before Sean passed and before Sarah got to the point that she was?
Maybe a couple of days.
And what were you putting it in?
Coca-Cola.
What else?
I think that was it.
How much would you put in?
I don't know. Just a little bit.
And why just a little bit?
I didn't want to hurt them. I don't know. I didn't want to hurt them.
Did you just want it to be quick and painless?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you wanted? When
She actually hadn't gotten sick till that Saturday.
okay, so it all kind of hit her at once then. So you'd been giving it to her for how long before she got real sick? A week and a half ago, or almost 2 weeks ago?
Maybe 4 days.
Okay. So you'd been giving it for 4 days to her, but she hadn't been real sick, and then all of a sudden that Saturday is when she started to get real sick.
When I had stopped.
Okay. And then after she got real sick, you waited then, basically, from what you said earlier, you waited for her. Okay. Did you think that and you said you thought she was going to die, and that's why you waited that long?
Maybe. I wasn't even thinking, I don't think, by then.
What do you mean by that?
I just... I was actually afraid she was going to die then. It's like, what did I do?
Okay.
Yeah, I screwed up. Big time.
Tell me about with Sean. Before Sean passed, how long had you been giving him the antifreeze?
It wasn't very long at all.
It wasn't very long at all. How long had he been sick before he...
Oh, he'd been sick like a couple of weeks before, but that was like flu, because he had really bad, he was throwing up and diarrhea, and that was even before I even did anything.
Okay, so he was thrown up and had the flu, and then you started to give him the antifreeze. And how many days worth of antifreeze did you give him?
Maybe a couple.
Okay. And then when he got real sick, is it, from what I understand, he got real sick on the Saturday night, and then you checked on him a couple times, is that correct? And he was still alive, but you left him and then went to church, and then you got home and he was okay.
Yeah.
So it only took a couple days worth of giving him the antifreeze to kill him. Okay.
I guess.
From, you don't know? When you say you don't know, what I mean?
I don't know if the antifreeze, did it really do it or not? I don't know. I guess.
But again, from understanding you, that was your intent of giving him the antifreeze. You are shaking your head yes, is that okay? And the same with Sarah. Where's the antifreeze now?
It's in the garage.
It's in the garage. How many bottles of antifreeze had you used on them?
Not that much. There's still like half a bottle.
There's still half a bottle left. Okay. Where would you buy the antifreeze?
You can get it online.
Okay. Is that where you were buying it from? Was online? Where online were you buying it from?
Trying to think of this place. It's like an industrial place.
Okay. And the one bottle that you say you've gone through, are you sure it's only one bottle that you've gone through?
I think. I don't know.
Okay. And the industrial place, so you'd buy it online from them, and then they send it here?
Mhm.
Okay. And you still have a half a bottle left in the garage?
Mhm.
What's the brand of it?
Brand. I don't remember. Yeah.
So how did you do it then? You got to be honest with me about everything.
I'd bring it in the house.
And just pour it right into the drink? Did you use anything else besides antifreeze? And you say you expected the antifreeze to, after they drank it, that it would be quick and it would kill them right away.
Mhm.
Were you surprised when it took a while?
Mhm.
Is that why you continued to give them more?
Yeah, because I didn't know what else to do.
Mhm. Had you thought of other, why did you decide that you were going to use antifreeze to do it? Why not some other means?
Because I had read online it was pretty easy to do.
Okay. And where online did you read that?
Oh gosh. On Google.
Okay. So you Googled it?
Mhm.
Because when Google pops up, your search, how did you search for that?
Oh, you just type it in.
Well, what did you type in?
Like antifreeze poisoning.
Okay, so then what pops up after you type in antifreeze? Is that what your search, so you typed in, so you went to Google and you typed in antifreeze poisoning, and what all pops up?
Oh, there's all these different things.
And basically, is it like an instruction manual that you can eventually find, or how?
It goes through what it is and how it acts, and
Tells you how to do it?
pretty much tells you how to do it.
Okay. So you did the Google search and then you ordered it. And then after you got it, did you pretty much immediately start giving it to Mark?
Pretty soon. Yeah.
Okay. How many doses or how many days did it take?
For him, 3.
3 doses, 3 days worth? Or 3 days worth, how many different doses per day did it?
Gosh, what? Just one a day.
Just one a day?
Yeah.
How much though did it take to were you putting in Cokes for him also? Or what did you put it in for him?
I'm trying to think, what was he drinking? Gatorade.
Okay, so you put it in Mark's Gatorade. And was it Cokes for both Sean and Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when did Mark start to get sick?
He got sick on Friday.
Okay. And when did he die?
On Sunday.
On Sunday. Were you surprised it took so long after he started getting sick?
No, because I didn't really know how it
Would react?
worked.
Okay. And then Sean, how did stuff get started with Sean?
Sean would be interfering with whatever I would do. to the point where he was getting into my work. And I would have to tell him, you need to leave, you know, go to your room, go do something. And he would just, how can I explain this? I don't know how to explain it. You get to the point where you just pull out your hair. Because I didn't know what else to do with them.
So he was just a constant bother. Wouldn't leave you alone. Like you said, he's interfering with you with your work.
He was almost to the point of inappropriate at times. I mean, to the point where he would walk into the bathroom if the door was shut. I mean, just really bizarre stuff.
And he was such an interference and a bother, you just said you can't take it anymore.
Oh, he was more than a bother.
More than a bother, okay.
Yeah.
Would a pest, would that be a good word for it?
No, it was more than that.
Even more than that?
Yeah.
How would you describe it then?
I'm lousy at explaining. It's to the point where I just wish I could leave
Mm-hmm.
and walk out. And I should have. I should have just walked away.
So at what point then, because I'm assuming from what it sounds like, this was just building and building. Sean's driving you crazy. He's a pest. He's interfering in everything. You're trying to do work and he's writing them, he's bothering you. At one point you just finally said, enough is enough. Can't take it anymore. And how many days was it that you started giving him the antifreeze before he died?
Maybe a couple of days.
Just a couple days?
Yeah.
So if there's anything else at all that I haven't asked you or that we're going to find out or possibly find out, there may be something you think we're not going to find out, but if we do, I mean, it's best to get it all out and this one shot done right here.
I think I've told you
Okay.
pretty much everything.
So you were putting it in Mark's Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
You were putting it in Sean's Coke,
Mm-hmm.
just regular Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Sarah?
And Coke.
Regular Coke. Okay.
She loved Coke.
Okay. And you were only doing it once a day because you thought that's all you needed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know you wanted to bring Sarah a milkshake at the hospital after she came to.
Mm-hmm.
How much were you going to put in that?
I didn't put anything.
Did you give it to her?
No.
Did you?
They wouldn't let me.
You brought it up and they wouldn't?
I brought it up, they wouldn't let me. It's like, okay.
Where is that milkshake now?
I drank it.
Where did you get that milkshake from?
That was at McDonald's.
Okay. You didn't put any in there?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. Hang tight for me real quick, and I'll be back in just a little while, okay? If the tests come back and show that somebody did harm them, how would you explain that?
I have no clue.
Have there been any infidelities on either side?
He had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Further investigation revealed that Diane was not the only one involved. Her 22-year-old daughter Rachel had been equally involved in the murders and had known about them all along. In one of her diaries, she wrote, "I wish sometimes I could avoid the future and just keep looking to the past. It's sad when I realize how my father will pass in the next 2 months and how my brother Sean will follow shortly after. Yet it's actually helpful. I'm being warned, so I have more time to prepare and cope. Also, I'll get Dad's car when he's gone. It'll be tough getting used to the changes, but everything will work out." In another entry, she wrote, "Yet I feel your gaze linger over me. I close my eyes and try not to think of the ghosts of copper and bleach on my tongue. I try not to think of shuddery breaths or how easily a soul evaporates, leaving nothing behind but a hollow husk curled up on the floor, eyes vacant and dull arms extended. But what were you reaching for?" Among her writings was a short poem, exposing the disturbing thought she had been carrying for months. "Once upon a time there were 6, and now there are 3. Only the quiet ones are left. My mom, my little sister, and me." Subsequently, the second autopsy on Sean revealed ethylene glycol in his system, further solidifying the case. Although Sarah survived, the weight of evidence only grew heavier. Diane and Rachel were both charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of first-degree assault. While Diane received life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, Rachel accepted a plea deal, taking 2 consecutive life sentences plus 40 years, with the possibility of parole only after 60 years.